Have you ever driven over a highway bridge and couldn't help but look below? Or stood on a shoreline's rocky ridge just to watch the water flow? And count yourself as one of the few with a different set of dreams, the kind that keeps you up at night, 'cause you can't wait to get to that stream. It's more than a river. It's more than the water flowing or where it's going. It's the grip on the paddle and the shit in the saddle, the V in the boulders and the lean in the shoulders. When you reach for the eddy, it doesn't get better than this. Yes, it's more. So much more than a river.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are live with Cross Currents Leadership. We are live on Facebook, Substack, and YouTube for just 15 minutes while we hit the highlights and give you the best, most golden nuggets of information that are going to help you level up your leadership in paddle sports in 2026. I am so excited that tonight I get to welcome my friend Stig Larsson, the internationally storied whitewater slalom paddler, also the founder and CEO for Level 6. Stig has made a name for Level 6 as a lifestyle brand in paddle sports, as a lifelong paddler who believes in good gear, but also in sustainability. So he's really changed the playing field of what we've got out there in terms of great gear, and he's about to do it again. So Stig, thank you so much. Oh, and also chair of the Paddle Sports Trade Coalition, bringing the whole industry together as we work towards sustainability for our marketplace. So Stig, thank you so much for making time to talk to us tonight. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
Andrea, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, your work, we've been working together on the PTC for a while as well, so I'm glad to kind of get this fully connected. So I'm excited.
Well, I appreciate you. So you are in the process of launching a whole line of Level 6 PFDs. And there's a lot to tell about this line. There's a lot of new things coming down the pike that people need to know about. And I know you have called this the hardest product launch in Level 6 history. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you think about certification, the laws around certification, it's a whole different world than just designing a pair of board shorts or even like a dry suit. I think a couple of years ago, when we really focused on our sustainability, well, 10 years ago, we really changed our sustainability narrative, and we came up with the world's first PFAS-free dry suit. That was a lift that I didn't think that was possible for a company like us to do, change in the way, we're in the world of Patagonia Arc'teryx when they're trying to do it and we're trying to figure it out at the same time. But when you start entering in, US Coast Guard, Canada Coast Guard, the European standards, like we're doing this all at the same time. We're not just launching a Canadian PFD, we're launching a PFD that's certified, in North America, but we're also doing a version that's certified in Europe at the same time. We also decided that we weren't going to just do one or two models. We went and we designed 24 models of PFDs and we certified them all in one shot. And then, of course, as we'll talk about later on, the 50 Newton file, which was something that there was no determination of how to even certify that product when we started designing these PFDs 3 years ago, because it wasn't finalized yet. So we sort of took a leap of faith and did it. But yes, as you can imagine, certification rules, global certification rules, the testing procedures is very, very expensive endeavor. And then taking that and amplifying that times 24 different PFDs at the same time.
Well, and you really did make a gamble. I mean, how close did it come before? Because you didn't even, at the point where you made that gamble, you didn't know you were going to be able to put them through for Canadian testing at the same time, right?
Correct. Yeah. When we started, 3 years ago, when we first started actually cutting and shaping foam and feeling how it felt on our body, designing a women's specific line as well as a men's specific line in unison. The 50 Newton file was something that we had heard about, but it wasn't really determined when it was actually going to go. But we knew that we were doing it, so we might as well let's make the perfect 50 Newton file at the same time as we were doing the 70 Newton file. Last December, the U.S. Coast Guard, adopted it, but then we still had to wait for the Canadian Coast Guard to sign off on that as well. And we were in the testing process, so we did a leap of faith, and we actually built our testing samples in 50 Newton files at the same time, and we submitted them for testing as basically to put on the back burner until the Canadian Coast Guard had adopted the U.S. Coast Guard with with the French language changes.
Right. Once they harmonize the standards.
Once they harmonized the standards, and now that came through on March 1st, and we had already created all of our testing samples. We were already there at the lab working on the 70 Newton stuff. So it was just a matter of saying, okay, we're good to go. Here, the standard is being set. Let's go ahead and start testing that. And the funny enough is like the standard, even just for the lab to understand what those new standards were, also had to be done because it was all new to them. Like I'm pretty sure I know we're the very first 50 Newton file in North America to come to market next year. So we're the very first ones being tested.
So, okay, we're going to come back to level 50s because I really want to delve into that and make sure our audience fully understands. But let's talk just a minute. Let's not skip past the fact that you talked about making a purpose-fit product. You've developed a women's line that is not just a pink version of the men's line.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, as everyone knows, women's bodies are different than men's bodies. And, we've been really focused on making in our paddling gear for every dry top we make or a paddling jacket we make, we try to do a women's specific one as well. And it's a fully different pattern. It's not just shrink it and pink it as we joke about here in the office, how the industry tends to do things. So we actually patterned the women's paddling gear. And it's the same thing with the PFD. How the foam sits on a women's body is different than how it fits on a men's body. So we were purposely driven to make sure that we had a women's one that fit women and we have a men's one that fit men. And that's this new Halo Fit system we've come up with graded foam sizing and also additional sizes, because as you can imagine with certification, every size that you do is another certification for buoyancy. It's another strength test. It's another test you have to do. So a lot of companies will only make 3 sizes and then blend them saying they're men's and women's. Well, it's not really how it goes. Like you've got to make smaller sizes for women and then larger sizes for men. But every time you add a size, it adds cost. But we also knew that we were super committed to this. Like I've been doing this for 30 years and I've seen our brand grow from selling shorts on the back of my car to being in 450 stores. I know we're going to be here for the long game. So why not invest in the product that's going to, not just be relevant today, but it's going to be relevant in 5 years and 10 years as well.
Absolutely. And I know you also hit your sustainability principles in the design and manufacturing of these. Yes,
100%. We go on everything now. It's PFAS free, 100% recycled on everything we do. We don't use plastic in any of our packaging. All of that stuff. That's from day one now when we start the design process.
Well, okay. So with that understanding, let's talk about the level 50 because we've already got a question. Cindy McNeil is already asking us about the new life jackets. So we're going to have to really get into this.
Yes.
She's asking, are the PFDs recommended for recreational activities or for professionals? And I mean, I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about the level 50. So let's just talk about what it is, who it's for, why it is, and the gamble that you're making on the marketplace. So what is it?
So I was just on a call with the U.S. Coast Guard yesterday, and the narrative is just being pushed out to make sure that people understand what these are for. These are life-saving devices with just a lower buoyancy rating than a 70 Newton. They are still PFDs. They're still for recreational, and they're actually for motorsports activities as well. The different caveat is it has to be worn in order to be legal, and that was kind of what was being discussed with, like going with a nice lighter weight jacket to encourage users to wear them. It's a lighter jacket for more range of mobility. So it's, feel that it's on, but you have to be wearing it. Gone are the days of you have a PFD, stick underneath your seat and you're considered legal. You really want to have this jacket on, and the new 50 Newton file encourages you to wear it because it's just so comfortable. But yes, right. It's definitely for recreational activities. Yes, to answer the question, it's recreational activities. It's for extreme activities as well, as long as you're comfortable in the environment that you're paddling in.
So historically, the life jacket that we are used to wearing, the one we are wearing this summer, is
Mhm.
probably a level 70, a 70 newtons of flotation. That's about 16 pounds of foam.
Mhm.
And that used to be the lowest level the U.S. Coast Guard would certify.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's what we sort of used for casual paddling,
Mhm.
right? What I grew up calling a type 3.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
But now they have created a new standard for a lighter weight, sleeker, more streamlined PFD, the level 50,
Mhm.
50 newtons of flotation. That's about 10 pounds of foam, so a lot
Mhm.
less foam. But it's lighter. It's both lighter in weight and it's not as hot.
Yes.
And it's designed for recreation. It's designed for enjoyment, and to be more streamlined, to be more comfortable. But to your point, you do have to wear it. It's no longer just carry it on the vessel with you if for it to be legal.
Exactly. And I think that really should be the narrative anyway. You know, a PFD does no good if it's sitting beside you. You know, you got to be
Mhm.
wearing it. I mean, I come from a slalom whitewater racing background. It was a no-brainer. You put your PFD on when you get on the water. And funny enough, like the Europeans, 50 newtons have been around in Europe for a long time. It is a safe PFD. It's determined that the average human body only needs 50 newtons to keep afloat. You don't need 70 newtons. So we're really like encouraging that wear it to make it work type of piece of equipment. So trimming down a bit of the buoyancy, but also making it way more comfortable to wear. And I'll tell you, wearing our 50 Newton jackets here, it's completely different than a 70 Newton jacket. You can barely feel it's on. The range of movement is incredible, and it's so lightweight.
Well, I know my personal preference will probably be to still wear a 70.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a robust person, and I'm going to get in the water and see if it floats me and if I'm comfortable with it. And I certainly want to be familiar with it and able to teach it to my students.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm probably still going to wear what I grew up with, a type 3, a level 70.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I certainly understand the Coast Guard is looking at all these fatalities and these statistics and a whole culture of folks who don't want to wear a life jacket because it's just too much.
Yeah.
And now they've come up with a standard to please just wear something.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and the encouragement too is that if you're a strong swimmer, you're comfortable in the water, the 50 Newton file is for you. If you're not comfortable in the water, you can't swim, stick with the 70 Newton file. There is more buoyancy there, and you'll feel more confident if you do get in the water. I think it's also activity based too. If you're going for a sea kayak or a paddleboard on calm water, 50 Newton is tons. That's all you need. If you're gonna cross Lake Superior, in gale force winds, you're probably going to want a 70 Newton PFD. You're probably also going to want a radio. You probably want as well, all the other safety things you need. But really, it's for that recreational user that is confident in their skill level. They understand their surroundings. They know they're going to get caught off guard by an incoming storm or something like that. They're paddling with friends and family, and they can definitely feel confident amongst their peers.
Well, what I'm hoping, and I wonder what your thoughts are on this, because I see this, and you're first to market. You won't be the last to market, but this is a whole new product for us in this marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
I see this as a window of opportunity where we can talk to recreational paddlers and change the way they view life jackets. Yes. I see this as a window of opportunity where we can say, guys, there's no reason not to wear a life jacket now. You're not too cool for school. Just wear the streamlined, cool looking life jacket.
Yeah, 100%. I think when we did our design, one thing level 6, I would say our strong suit is, we really design things with a fashion point of view as well. So the colors, the trim, the fit and features of it. And we went into that with the 50 Newton as well. We didn't create a jacket that was bare bones, didn't have any feature sets. So you're feeling compromised by buying that jacket. We created this jacket equal to or better than our 70 Newton files. So you're wearing it, and it does have all the feature sets of a 70. It is in all aspects exactly like our top our top buoyancy jacket, but it just has less foam in it. It's just a lighter jacket. So you don't feel like you're still getting something that you want to wear, and not something that you're throwing on just for the sake of passing Coast Guard approval.
Sure. Well, it does. I mean, we as instructors and as leaders in our sector are certainly going to have to be able to educate the marketplace. We're going to have to educate users. We're going to have to raise awareness, and we're going to have to know how to talk about them.
Yeah.
Do you have any guidance for us about the best first sentence out of our mouth?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the best first sentence is always like, for it to work, you have to wear it. That is the best first sentence. And then when you take a 50 Newton jacket versus 70 Newton jacket off the shelf, you try them on, I guarantee you will leave that store with a 50 Newton jacket because it's just that much different. I think understanding that a life jacket only works when you wear it, that is the number one education point. And once you get past that hurdle, now it's depending on, okay, which jacket do I want that suits my paddling style? And then,
That's right.
If you are going to be doing some extreme situations, the 50 Newton's not for you. But for the majority of users, the 50 Newton is the PFD for you. I also think that, I know that the U.S. Coast Guard and Canada Coast Guard is putting a ton of effort into, educating the consumer, educating the market, what these jackets mean, and what these jackets can do to not only save your life, but also allow you to continue enjoying the activity on the water.
Well, and because your company is the first to market, because you are a lifelong paddler and you made the gamble that maybe one of these venture capital firms wouldn't have done, right?
Yep.
You gambled on our people, on our industry, on something that would drive us forward, that would help the paddling community succeed.
Yes.
As a whole, because we have so many millions of recreational paddlers that currently aren't wearing life jackets at all. And so you're not really looking at marketing a new product. You are looking at education of a marketplace.
That's correct. Yeah. And I think, the stats show that, if you get on a boat and you have a bad experience, whether it is a close call because you didn't have a PFD or, for whatever reason that is, the chance of you getting back in a boat again are very, very slim. And it certainly hurts the entire paddle sports market. So creating a product like this that, eliminates that one variable, that if you do capsize, or you do go in the water, you're still feeling confident and safe, will amplify your ability to want to go again the next day or the next week and continue doing this sport that obviously gives so much back to everybody in terms of mental health, experience, the exercise portion of this. So many positive things are linked to paddling and being on the water.
That's right. All right. Well, so guys, I have put in the show notes. So whether you're watching this live or watching the recording, there's links in the show notes so that you can see online where Level 6 has published the PFD preview and the product specs. You can see the full product line that they've got for whitewater, sea kayak, touring, recreational paddling, and more. You can see all of their kind to environment practices. You can read all about the new Halo Fit system to understand exactly all the features and benefits of these products. And also, if you go to the Paddle Sports Trade Coalition website, that is also linked in the show notes. You can come. It's a free registration to attend. It's October 14th through 16th in Montgomery, Alabama, at Montgomery Whitewater. You will have the opportunity to get your hands on one of the first demo models of these new Level 50 PFDs. You can put it on, you can feel how it fits, you can get in the water, you can try it out and learn all about it so that you can then go talk to the people that depend on you for knowledge about life jackets. So come join us. Meet me in Montgomery. Come see us there.
Yeah, and me as well. I'll be there as well.
So Stig, thanks again. I really appreciate you making the time. I'm going to wrap up real quick. Everybody, thank you so much for supporting our live stream. Thank you for supporting Cross Currents leadership and the work that we do with the Paddle Sports Trade Coalition and with the companies in it, as well as all the other stakeholders in our community. Your support, when you sign up to follow me on the socials or subscribe for either one of the free or paid subscriptions on Substack, you support the work that we do here. You support our ability to do this live stream. You support our ability to do the volunteer work that we do in our community. So that is not taken for granted. It helps keep me caffeinated and more. So please do sign up. And the trick is, if you sign up for the Substack, you will get the email link. So it'll actually come to you. You don't have to go find it in the social feed. It'll actually come to your inbox, and you won't miss out on any of the great information that we're putting out there. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Good night, Stig.
Bye.